Ladies and gentlemen, we are back 2025 with three very similar faces that you have seen for the whole of 2024. Melvin, Firoz, Ravin, here to talk about running and what matters in running at this moment.
Yeah.
Right? So, first episode of 2025. Melvin, you look a bit tired.
I am.
And Firoz, you look actually
Fresh.
fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard something happened yesterday.
Yeah. And
Can
it
you
made
please
me
tell us
even
more
fresher.
about it? Oh, yes. So what happened? You did a race?
Yeah, I raced in the Wings cross country.
Okay.
Yeah. Was targeting between 336 per K to 345. It's quite a big.
That's a marathon pace, right?
Before
sorry,
I say your uncle.
What pace was that? For
That's the retirement pace.
for 5K.
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 So 336 per K was a huge ask based on what I could achieve. But surprisingly, I set off the first 2K at 331, 332.
Ooh.
So I decided let's try to stick to it. But then by third K was 342. Then went down to 345. And then after that, last K was 337, where our dear Melvin Wong saw me coming back.
Also, Melvin took part in the race as well?
No, I didn't. I was there.
You're doing your marathon pace.
He was doing what? 3 times 4K.
Oh, wow.
4 times 4K. And his fourth
Don't
set
cut.
was my race pace. Or faster than my race pace.
So I tell you, damn funny. Like, long time never see both of y'all, right?
Right.
Yeah, but somehow we need to meet at somewhere, and I happened to meet him
Yeah.
in his final 1K of the cross country. And I tell you, sun shades on. Wow. Then I say, go, oh man, go.
Go, man.
Then the guy next to me, right, I said, hey, you cannot be so rude, no. I said, oh, that old man, I know one. Because I know if he were to see me racing, he's going to call me old man as well. So we just chill on each other.
Yeah, that's true.
So you saw him finish the race and everything was...
I didn't see his... I saw the last, I don't know, was it 150?
Yeah, 150 meters about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but this old man still looks good. To him say, yeah.
Strong finish.
Strong finish, but I think, you know why? It was the sun shades.
Yeah, the shades, the Oakley shades.
Hide that pain in the face.
Right, most probably.
Yeah.
Other than that, what has your week been, boys?
Wow. Yeah, when was the last time we recorded?
We recorded with Jordan and
right.
Sean, I think. That
Yeah.
was the last one in 2024.
November.
December?
Correct.
Or late
correct.
November.
December.
Yeah.
I think November. Right?
November.
Yeah.
When was Garmin run?
October.
Yeah. So it was Jordan and Sean.
So 2 months out.
I think
Wow,
for 2
yeah.
months, yeah.
Correct.
We took a long break.
We took a long break. I took a family trip to Japan
Okay.
in December. Unfortunately,
Didn't snow or was it snowing?
snowing.
Okay.
Snowing. We went to this place called Nagano. We did a
Okay.
bit of skiing.
Right.
So yeah, it was good fun. And then after that, I fell sick.
Yes.
Came back and then just ready to go.
Okay. So 2025, what are you looking forward to? What's your next big thing that you're looking forward to? In terms of running
This big
events.
thing, wow.
life.
I heard Mr. So Ryong has issued a challenge.
To you or to everybody?
Not to me lah, to everyone else
Oh, to
running
everyone else,
sub 2:30 for the marathon. So that's going to be an exciting one. I
Right.
think a lot of the local runners are
Gunning for
getting
it.
hyped up. We're definitely going to see a lot of breakthrough in
Yep.
the next few months.
Okay.
So let's watch out for
Are
that.
you also looking to try to
I'm going
bring
to
that?
break through my own limits but I don't know what that would be
Okay, that's nice. How about you, Firoz? What's coming up?
He just broke through yesterday. Give him a break.
Yeah.
The 5K limit. Got it.
So from last year, right? So this year's target is MTT, man.
MTT, we are back to MTT. Right.
Every year is MTT for
Yeah,
this guy.
that's his
No.
his
Next
SEA
year,
Games.
next year will be Wings Cross 5K. Trying to bring the timing down, man.
Next year's for 2026 Wings Cross. Wow,
For
Feels
this year's
planning for
MTT
the future.
still.
already. Okay,
Planning future. Yeah.
amazing.
Shush.
Any more races now? MTT and Wings Cross. I feel that 1 year ago we covered the same thing.
Wait, where's MTT again? This coming?
I think
For
it should be
2025?
Bangkok still.
Oh, still in Bangkok.
Your
Okay.
usual hunt, huh?
Yes.
Okay, maybe we'll see you there, Firoz.
I'll see, man.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
So
I don't know, but I think today, right, we have two really special individuals who join us.
Yep.
And even though when we first started out, right,
Yep.
we were like pretty good at what we do,
Right.
But I tell you, these two individuals individually or together, right,
they beat all.
they whip our ass. right?
I kind of figured
Left,
that out.
right, center, front.
In all angles. Yeah. In all angles.
And I can tell you for sure, there's one individual
Alright.
who ran I think 1,000 kilometers.
Bro, that's my whole of 2024 mileage.
Yeah.
And I think she beat that mileage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did she take like 10 days?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we will get her here and she will tell us how many days she took
Yeah.
to do 1,000 kilometers. I took
Yeah.
1.5 years maybe to hit 1,000 kilometers.
1.5 years.
Based on 2024, 2023, the amount of running I've been doing.
I managed to join her.
You managed?
Part of the race.
Oh,
Her final.
0.1% of the.
Firoz, you always like to be seen in the final stretch.
Hey, it's
or joining someone. in
It's
the-
about supporting, man.
You're
Support.
absolutely right. Like, what would we do without you?
She
right?
needed that support.
We will ask her whether
Yeah.
she felt his support.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
We should ask.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
ask. Direct from the
Okay.
horse itself.
All right. Shall we welcome?
Let's welcome our two special guests.
Yes. Oh wait, the other lady I forgot to ask.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hit me.
Forgot to ask. Introduce.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yes.
think in terms of speed, right? She also whip us all.
I think I'm gonna lose to her. I think I lost to her last year. I think I'll lose to her again this year.
I already known for a fact I'll lose to her already. But I don't know about Feroz. Feroz still prides himself on his middle distance speed.
I heard, but I think his hamstring will have something to say about it.
Yeah.
Hamstring and calf.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
He was
Might
keeping
have
up
a
with
tough fight,
Trailing and Serena at some race some time
That's a
ago, right?
5K, 10K.
And Manyin also, right? I think all the three of them have whooped his ass already.
All the time when he offered,
Soon this one will be the 800 meter.
all the time he offered the pace, right?
Yeah.
It's after the less than 40% of the race entered, right? The pacer dropped out.
pacer,
I
yes.
mean, I
We
don't
know,
know
we
whether
know, we
the
know.
contractual obligation was that he dropped out before the halfway mark.
Precisely.
But he voluntarily
what-
dropped out.
That's what paces are all about, man. We don't pace the whole distance. That's what paces are all about.
Okay, let's not
Okay, lah,
let's
let's
not talk
just
about
move
Feroz
them lah.
life
Okay,
anymore.
okay.
lah.
Yeah,
Let's bring
okay.
our two favorite
Yeah,
guests.
let's invite Natalie Dow and
And Romaine
Romaine.
So.
So.
I've witnessed his pacing, so I know what you're talking about.
Hey, my pacing is awesome, eh?
When do I get to experience this legendary pacing?
Oh, soon you join us in the
Problem is that
MTT probably.
he's behind you. lah.
You might need to pace him at the end of the day. All right, ladies, thank you for being here on a Sunday morning. We've got a lot to cover. And the theme of today's topic, goes along the lines of International Women's Day, having two very esteemed guests. We would like to pick your brains a bit more on the scene of women running in Singapore and maybe even in the region. So I know Melvin has some questions lined up to fire right off the bat. Melvin, you seem very interested in the International Women's Day, so let's talk about it.
This is a serious topic, right?
It is.
Don't joke and laugh about it.
I'm not. Gonna
Okay.
keep it lighthearted. Yeah.
But, okay. I am a little bit of a running nerd the last few months. And I wanted to share with everyone that I cannot believe what the world is experiencing right now with female, especially in athletics. Do you know that the latest world record for female 5,000 meters is starting with a 13?
Damn.
That is like me.
That's
maybe
Spiros
at
at half K, at the half 2.5K.
Correct.
mark.
That's me and
The
maybe
women's
the
cross
4K
country.
mark
Ah.
of the 5K.
Oh my god.
And the world the world marathon record for females, it's like 209.
Wow.
That is insane. Like 10 years ago, right? 209 is the standard for
Men's, right?
American distance marathon Olympic trials qualifier 209.
Right.
And now at this age, at this time, to 2025, it's 209 for the female world record. So I believe that that the females have
Bridge that gap, right?
and I always felt that maybe the society has placed a limit or a kind of like ceiling on female in sports. But today we have the privilege of having these two esteemed guests
Right.
to share with us. What do you think? Maybe to kick things off, right? Maybe to you, Nat. What do you think from your angle and within the local running scene? How has female participation or female, especially in athletics, right, is elevating our sport?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of female athletes step up across all distances, which is making a difference. So, obviously you've had Shanti and little girls are looking up to
Yes.
her, and that
Yes.
really elevated it, and the media took hold and ran with that. But then we're seeing runners of all different backgrounds looking very different as well. So it's not the cookie cutter, this is what a runner looks like anymore. And we're seeing them run across different distances. So where used to be just pigeonholed as a marathon runner, now we're seeing people cross distance as well. So I think that's really interesting. So it's all kinds of females that are stepping up, some really good role models, a lot that are happy to have open discussions about their struggles as well, so people can relate to them a lot more. And I think it's with that it's really, really helping the running scene. And I think globally we've just seen women's sport elevated, and that's been the kick-off, I think, too.
And do you think that has been amplified because of social media? We have more access to individuals, social media accounts, and in that way we are able to get updated about what they are doing. They are able to showcase what they're up to as well.
Yeah,
Life stories.
absolutely. I think if people are genuine on social media, which most runners are because they're just putting up what they put up, then it's definitely more relatable. And I think we've seen the running scene, even the social running scene here, just explode. So we're getting more people interested in it. They're actually recognising finally who these amazing females in the running scene are in Singapore, and they've got someone to look up to as well. So I think it's just education across the board. And I think I think that being genuine across social has definitely helped it too. And, we've got some fabulous runners, some fabulous role models.
Like yourself?
No, not myself. No,
Don't be humble
definitely
here, right?
not. No. So I think that certainly helps, and we're seeing people maybe come from different backgrounds and different sports come into running. So it's crossing triathlon and different things now too. So I think it's giving people the hope that you just don't have to just run. You can go and try different things. You can go and do cycling as well if you want to. So I think it's definitely a more broad audience than it has been in previous years.
So do you suppose in this era now that there's not much of a focus on this gender in sports?
I think there still is, and I think it's still an uphill battle for females to get a piece of that. I think it's still very male dominated. I think Vanessa's a great person that's pushing forward, and I think we've seen brands elevate some females as well, which is great to see. But overall, I do think, I think runners in Singapore don't get enough media coverage as it is anyway, full stop, male or female, and support. But I do think it's just an ongoing battle for females to fight for that.
Personally, for yourself and Romaine, have you all faced any challenges on a personal basis, like in terms of being biased against? Yeah.
Against that. Do you have an example scenario?
I don't know, like you feel like because of just because you're female, then certain things are not
You're
given.
limited to certain things or access.
I don't think I've been in any scenario that I recall where they say, oh, you can't do this because you're female. I think I've been fortunate enough where I get to do whatever I want just because I can, not say because, oh, just because you're a girl, you can't do this because you're not fast enough, you're not strong enough and all that. So that is a fortunate enough scenario for me. That may not be the case in other sides of the world where, by a certain age, you have to stop your hobbies, you have to focus on your family, academics and all that.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yourself?
Yeah, I think as females age, there's definitely that pressure and the guilt that comes around with this is, maybe they've had a child and they're coming back to running, which we haven't seen so much in Singapore, but we will see with runners as they get older. And they put females put the pressure on themselves, but society still does, and I think that's a big thing. I think personally, I've experienced the weight thing, standing on a start line, and it's always males saying, "Oh, you're big for an ultra runner."
Really?
Yeah, quite often.
Give me the guy's name.
Yeah. Well, the best form of revenge is just to go and kick his ass and
Trip
beat
him,
him.
sure.
Yeah. So that's quite, and I know Vanessa raised the weight conversation in a previous podcast. But yeah, that's still there. So there's definitely, I think females are still stereotyped in the industry.
It's good that you bring up because I don't think we have ever experienced such a question or
Hey, just the other week you put me on the spotlight. You said, Ravin, you're looking a bit big for a tennis player. I'm like, what? I'm just kidding. I love you, but no. But to his point, very true. As guys, I think we have told the line many times. Honestly, we have never said this statement to anyone, but we've also never heard of these conversations happen. But now that you mention it, it's
I don't know. I think maybe for guys, right, we tend to do a lot of like banter chat with each other, and it's just throwing you in the mud. But we all know it's just harmless, chat. But I think when you come across as you throw this to a female, sometimes it may get interpreted the wrong way also, and I just felt that wasn't necessary at the start. Yeah. So I thought, yes, it's good that you share with us because I think then it gives the audience to know that, hey, actually, this is one of the key challenges that you face as well, starting the race or even during training. I want to ask something a bit closer to my heart. And I want to ask on behalf of our producer also. Yeah. And that's regarding parenthood. Yeah. I want to know, right, especially for you, Nat, I know you're an ultra runner. You spend countless of times, hours out training. Or how do you find the energy to balance training with your family commitments and with your other work commitments as well? I think it's always something that we're all amazed, but we dare not have. I don't know, some people may not have access to you. They may be afraid to ask you questions, but I thought this is the right time for us to like go deep into how do you balance the different commitments in your life and still, end up really strong in all of them.
Yeah, so I mean, balance is ever changing, right? So some days running will get a big chunk, other days family will get a big chunk. It's definitely not even Stevens along the way. For me, running makes me a nicer person, so everyone in my family knows that I need to go for a run. And I've made a commitment to myself, so it is getting up at 4 a.m. and doing it before I'm back to get Lily ready for school. So that's my choice. And I've always tried to lead from the front, having a daughter, that she sees me taking time out for myself because it's important to follow what I want to do, to be fit and healthy, and, to teach her that that's what she should do too, that you don't have to give everything up for family. You still have to be an individual at the end of the day. So she just thinks it's normal that everyone gets up and goes for a run in the morning now.
If you don't, then she's like, hey, something's wrong.
Exactly. And then it's, I've always said quality time, not quantity time with kids. So being 100% present, phone down. My greatest joy is watching her play sport. So that's what I look forward to most in life. So it is just a balancing act. I think we all have choices of how we spend our 24 hours in the day, and it's just being very disciplined and understanding what's your priority and sticking to that. And, I'm never scared to say no to something. Unless it's a hell yes, it's generally a no from me. So that dinner invitation has to be a damn good one if I'm going to give up time with my family to do that. Yeah.
Will there be a difference between a father and a mother? Because it feels to me that the mother takes higher responsibility because the kids always very attached to the mom.
Interesting point. So similar to Nat's point about dinner invitations, right? I will try to carve out time, most of the weekdays to spend time reading books to my kids before they go to bed. So except for the days that I know I have to be at the track, so that one day I'll be out. But the rest of the days, I try to make it a point that I should, if I want to train, I have to go train a bit earlier, and then after that be back for the kids' bedtime stories. That's what I would aim to do. So there is that sacrifice, and I always felt that is also the reason why perhaps, in terms of social activities on weekdays, it's just harder for me to say yes to lah.
Right.
So yes, I'm with you down that line. We've got to make priorities and selections on where we need to spend our time, especially that those moments that your kids know they will be there. You'll be
So,
there with them.
in short, it seems like you need a very understanding and helpful spouse.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't matter whether it's a
teamwork.
guy or a girl.
Right, it's
Yeah.
teamwork.
Yeah.
It's teamwork,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it is. And I think you've got to work out what's priority for you. It's reading books to the kids at night. My Lily's now 15, nearly 16, so she's older. And for her, it's me going to watch her train or watch her play or put her on the school bus every day. And I think we have such short amount of time with our children. I'm sort of thinking she's got 2 years left and she's going to be off to the US to college, right? So I want every single second I can with her. I'm about to go to Melbourne to the Billie Eilish concert and wear matching T-shirts with her, So it's like just remembering those times because you don't get them back.
So I hope Bob has his answer.
You're good, Bob.
Yes.
Give thumbs up, man.
Awesome. I know, that's really amazing. And it's also nice to hear you guys say that teamwork, it takes a village to bring up a kid, right? Whether it's just the spouses or with the wider family. I'm sure you guys all have it down pat. The thing that a lot of our viewers are also talking about is societal pressure, right? I know we touched about it a little earlier, but coming to ladies, having kids, like what Romaine said, at a certain age, you got to stop pursuing your other ventures. So Romaine, maybe this question is for you. Societal pressures that you, maybe not on you, but that you have heard of among friends, family members, seeing them letting go of their dreams to do what society needs of them. Have you, had any experience or thought listening to that?
Like pressure from parents.
Or even, pressure from your own.
I mean, there's the occasional joke that, after college, where's your guy? After how many years of when you're in school, just focus on your academics, don't waste time on having a
Boys.
boyfriend, all that. Suddenly, within 2 months, where boyfriend? Hello, what? What in the change? But I think these days they are just content, I think, that I'm leading my own life. I'm putting bread on the table and pursuing my individual passions. I generally see most of my friends, by 20-something, they're getting engaged, married to their high school, university sweetheart. By my current age, they're already having their first or second kid.
Welcome to my club.
They're probably having their third or fourth kids by your age.
But there's an article. There's an article that just came out. I think it was shared in the chat group. I don't know which chat group. Asking, is it possible to be happily single?
That's
Was
our
it?
check.
Oh, that's our chat group. Yeah, I haven't read it.
Definitely for one person in our chat lah.
But I think I am happy being single.
Well, it's so nice to see, like, we have someone who is happily single, someone's happily married, someone has kids, someone who is pursuing the dream of wanting to be together. And a lot of different walks here, which is really amazing. So Firoz, happily single.
Yes, I'm free to do what I want, man. If I wish to travel overseas, I just go.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Right. And okay, so thank you, Romaine, for answering that beautifully well. So going on to the next question that we would like to ask is, to the younger ladies, you did mention about them looking up to Shanti. I'm sure they look up to you, Romaine, to you, Natalie. What is some advice you can give them, looking at them now, growing up in the pressures of Singapore, maybe even in Southeast Asia? What's some advice you can give them?
Yeah, I think even more in general, it's something I tell my daughter all the time, is I think girls are often worried about being, well, we're all worried about it, but females in particular being judged, or they're scared to go and try something in case they fail, and that's a lot of kids as well. And I always just say, no one is watching you really. Everyone's worried about themselves. And it's like a superpower once you realise that, right? Just go and try. It doesn't matter. And if you fail, then you're one step closer to succeeding anyway. But don't worry about what anyone thinks. Just go and have a go.
That's a
because
very powerful statement.
Yeah.
But it's very hard for people.
it is very hard because it's
accept.
like walking into a gym, right? You just think about someone who's going the first time and they're thinking everyone's looking at me and judging me. They're in the mirror taking a selfie of themselves. They're not they don't care who's just walked in, right? So I think once you realise that everyone is so self-absorbed, even on social media, everyone worries, is it the perfect photo? No one really cares, right? So just go and do your thing and be happy, and as long as you're happy, that will come through.
That's really nice. I wish to embody that as well.
Yes, everyone can embody that.
I need to record this for my daughter next time.
Right.
I just feel that, when, it's not that statement that you made, it doesn't apply just for females.
No.
I think even
It's everyone.
for me, when I first enter a gym, I'm this scrawny looking little guy here and everyone else lifting like 20, 30, 40 kg on the sides, and it just makes me feel a bit intimidated just because you may not be on the same level as them, but to be honest, everyone is just minding their own business after all. So great.
I think that leads us very nicely to some questions that Romaine has that she wanted to ask our dear Natalie. So, Romaine,
throw it
don't
out,
worry.
man.
Just
throwing
throw
you
it
in
out.
Yeah.
My mind went blank for
Let me stop slacking, yeah?
So on the more personal side of the female biological cycle in particular, I have a couple of friends, I have a couple of female friends that sometimes we discuss like, how do we feel when we have to exercise on that time of the month when the Red River flows. Everything is just crappy feeling, but yet we still have to go out there and get the session done. What, in your personal experience, do you do to just go out there and get it done anyway, despite how crappy you may feel?
Yeah, that was me today. So yeah, very apt. I think, and I talk about it in my book, and it's something that, and it's great you're talking about it because a lot of people still are not talking about it, which is the issue, and a lot of coaches don't talk about it, which is even more of an issue. So I think for any female, make sure you have a coach that's comfortable talking about it first and foremost. I think it's not an excuse not to do anything, I always say. We still should move, but it's about body awareness. So, it's generally just before that it's the worst, or the first day or two. And if you've got a hard session, then you're probably not going to want to do your hard session, right? So you back off and just do something, and then know that a week later you're probably going to be feeling your best, and then pack your hard sessions in there. So it's constantly the week before, the week of, a bit average, and then you've got 2 weeks of hard training, and just trying to map out your training around that is always my advice. Knowing that you need to fuel differently during the month, that like the middle of the month you need more carbs, and just giving yourself a break, because otherwise it adds to the stress of everything already going on with your body, right? And you're already feeling like crap and bloated and why are my legs sore? But I think just being kinder to ourselves, but also not being in the extreme of using it as an excuse to do absolutely nothing either. I think any movement is good. Yeah.
You can change your program if you are your own coach. But like, let's say if my athletes, when they come to me telling me they have their menses, right? And they will, to me, I've heard of sportswomen who just train through it. So I keep thinking that it's possible. If you want to do it, you do it. If you can't, then that's it. Yeah, don't tell me I'm not a doctor. So this is my approach to them. Like, you think you can, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell how bad is it.
Yes, that's right, because it's so personal. Some people
Yeah.
it impacts massively, some people not so much. And I think if you know your cycle, then you can plan around it, and they can just say, Coach, can you not put any hard sessions in maybe those first 4 days? Because this is what's, I know maybe I need to go at 70%. I'm not going to hit, whatever the sessions are.
But at times when I don't give them the option, right? And I just say, when I told them, okay, if you can't, then just fall out.
Yes.
But they somehow manage to push themselves through it. So is this like a mind over body matter? Or?
Again, really personal. And sometimes you have no choice when you're racing, right? So it falls on a race, and personally, I'm very dead against playing with your cycle and, not, taking pills so you don't get it and things. I mean, I've had deep vein thrombosis from being on the contraceptive pill. So, speaking from experience. So I think sometimes you almost have to practice that, what that's pushing, pushing through, because you can't choose when a race is. But I think it's the only advice to give them is listen to your body. And if you feel like pushing, then great, but maybe tomorrow you might not. So day by day almost, or even hour by hour. I've been, going for my run, starting, feeling fantastic, and then all of a sudden the cramps hit and I'm lying on the side of a footpath somewhere. So you just don't, I don't know if you've experienced the same, you just don't know. It can be hour to hour sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to pause here, and I want to get a bit of input from Romaine. No, don't stare at me.
Input do you need?
No, okay. What I want to know is, if I bring it down to local context, number one, do you think that the female athletes that you know of do communicate that openly to their coaches? I think in the local context, right, there might be a little bit of a barrier, and the culture sets the tone of what is
Norm. Yeah.
what can be communicated openly between an athlete and a coach, and what is more embarrassing, so as to speak. So I always felt that we need to bring it down to local context, right? Like for Feroz, maybe he's the coach that people can always go to him, share a bit more. But I don't know, with older coaches, do you feel that there might be a bit of barrier? I don't know, come.
Yeah.
Not me, but someone else has told my coach that she always has her period during an important time trial session.
Oh.
She has tried telling him about it, like, coach, but then she doesn't know how to tell him it straightforward. So she'll just go about in a roundabout way. Oh, it's always that time of the month where I don't feel at my best. Then he just look at her, huh? And then she dances around the bush some more until she finally somehow or other way tells him, Coach, I'm bleeding lah. Then he and then it stops there. So I don't know what was the outcome of that conversation, but that was the personal experience that I heard, that a female athlete cannot tell an old school male coach straightforward that she's just not having it that day. Yeah.
I'm curious also, after that, do you know if like the coach would change the program or advise something else?
I cannot remember the outcome of that conversation, but I think maybe he might have said I'll think about it, but it was just the whole roundabout way that was my takeaway from that conversation. Yeah.
So my point being is that perhaps right now the younger coaches are a bit more open to these topics. Maybe the older ones, we felt there's a bit of like barrier, in the sense that it's a bit more embarrassing to talk about, not so straightforward. You want to put it across like, oh, I'm having my menses today and cannot do this. But I also feel that there's another side of it, which is kind of like peer pressure. Like, I don't want to be seen as the person who always slack off during important time trials, which coincide with that similar. So I always felt that there's a lot more factors surrounding how and when the female athlete is able to open up also.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it has to be a few things. I think those old school coaches will just fade away if the females are demanding more, because if they don't understand what you're trying to tell them, then maybe it's time to get a new coach that actually does and brings out the best in you, because they're not going to bring out the best in your ability if they're not willing to adapt. And I think it happens to half the population. So, I think females also have to start elevating that conversation and taking responsibility for talking about it and not being embarrassed, because I'm sure if it happened to guys, you would be talking about it, right?
putting
It's
it on
like,
Insta.
exactly. I know.
Look at me, first time of the month. Give me some likes.
But no, it's very different. So, and it's not anything to be ashamed of. My gosh. So it's like, I've hurt my knee or I've whatever. It's like you just adapt and move around it. So I think it's the power of the conversation and just making it more normalized. And I think seeing, refer back to my daughter and her, classmates coming through, they talk about it much more openly with their coaches. At 15, she's going to her coach and saying, I'm feeling a bit off today, and feeling comfortable to talk to a male coach about that at 15. So I think maybe we'll see it in the younger generation coming through, that they feel empowered to do that, and maybe we're on the end of the generation that isn't comfortable doing that.
So I also feel that maybe for those who are the younger female athletes who may have a challenge trying to communicate that to their coaches, another way is also to talk with their peers and discuss, how best to bring out that message across to the coaches. Because I feel it's always a taboo topic in the past that you don't want to discuss about when you're having menses, because it affect your performance and things like that. But if you do get some idea about how your peers are also trying to communicate,
Dealing with it,
then it forms a powerful kind of like
Voice,
unison,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Voice.
On that same topic, okay, I get it that ladies might feel that it's a bit difficult to speak to a male coach about it. So now if not say reverse, but let's say if the coach is a female coach, I'm assuming it's much easier. But is that the expectation from the athlete? Like, hey, my coach is a runner and she has run before and she has maybe run through the pain and stuff like that. Do the female athletes, do you guys ever feel like, hey, if she can do it, then so can I? Does that also hit you guys?
I would think she has at least a bit more sympathy for my situation, because I'm going through it, she's going through it, she knows what kind of pain I experience, so she would, step one, sympathize, step two, at least have a bit more experience to tell me how to deal with it better. Yeah.
Which is important for the girls as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's nice to know. So at least you have that community, you can speak to your female coaches openly about it.
Yeah, and if she can't help me, I recently discovered some females pro runners accounts on social media in the US, where they are a lot more open to talking about this.
Right.
They reference other like doctor accounts that they've learned stuff from.
Right.
And now I'm reading those books and getting more knowledge from them.
Right,
So
right.
I know better how to deal with these. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Want to share a bit?
I'm still reading the book.
Next episode.
Yeah, but
I think the fans will then follow Romaine already now.
Yeah.
Probably you can put up some stuff up on your Insta.
I can try, but most of my audience apparently males. I don't
Showing off
Look at
The real truth.
I think you should send some. I think Firoz has more female followers in
Yeah,
his social
I think
media
so.
account.
I don't think so.
Maybe
I
he
think
can
Bob
post
has
and-
But he's happy.
but he's happily single.
Poor Bob, like, cannot defend himself.
Okay. Any other question? Actually, I want to go into the 1,000 kilometers that you did.
Yes.
know.
That's the one I wanted to ask.
Oh, please
as
go
well.
ahead.
Yeah, like
Hey, you also want to do it?
no.
Feroz was there on the last day and he brought some of his students.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it
It-
giving you
Yes,
enough
it did
energy?
give me a boost. Thank you very
Boost,
much.
see, look at that.
Such a loaded question right there.
Is that the right answer? Is that what you told me to say? Yeah.
No, Hazin, I wanted to ask, I mean, there are moments where you feel that you're breaking barriers for women to to follow suit in a way. So yours, the 1,000 is the main one. Romaine, do you have any that you feel that it's a breaking barriers for the female?
Shit, I can't even imagine. I was about to say that. Oops. I can't even fathom 1,000 km in what?
12 days.
12 days. I struggle to get 1,000 km in half a year.
Welcome to the club.
It's not even something I've even thought about until I saw your achievement that time, and I was like, oh man, people can actually start to imagine doing this if they ever want to do it one day, and it's happening right in front of them. So it's when it's a lot closer to home, they feel that more motivated and feel that it's a more reachable, achievable target. Yeah.
But have you like realized yourself?
I don't personally want to do it anytime soon, but for people who want to do it, I support you, Feroz.
No, not me.
But I think Romaine has elevated the women's sports scene with her
Massively.
own.
I feel
Massively.
the angle that I thought we should try and see is that both these ladies have done really good, have achieved a lot.
I can see her progress.
Yeah.
From breaking a
Breaking a leg?
Yeah, and that was when we were all training together.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
and
I
then
know,
now
To put context right to everyone,
10 years ago.
the rewind back, I don't know how many, 10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah.
ago.
This is the 2015 SEA Games year. 10 years ago.
Romaine,
Yeah.
so broke her leg in a steeplechase jump
Yeah.
and hobbled her way through for at least half a year.
Bit more,
Yeah.
a bit
Around
longer,
there.
yeah.
And I think what's important to note that the journey to where she is right now isn't obviously linear or smooth. But when you see that kind of progress, last year I know you've been breaking your own personal records, 800, 1,005.
Yeah.
I don't know about 5K, but 5K on the cards, I think.
Maybe this year, you don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. 5K is a little long. Never mind 1,000.
200 times shorter.
Which is why I'll leave 1,000.
I'm running 5,000 times slower.
Which is why I'll leave 1,000 km to you and whoever else. But yeah, I just the faster the better for now.
shorter.
Yeah.
So give everyone a glimpse. Last year was one of your most successful years, right? You were consistently hitting 1,005 at a certain time. Can you share with people like what were you doing for 800 and 1,005? And I believe right those average times right were so much faster than your previous 5 or 7 years combined.
Yeah, so I think the last time my 1,500 PB, I ran my last 1,500 PB in 2019.
I was there.
Yes, where I think I may have celebrated a little too loudly. And
So the backstory was that I was sitting with Coach Ilango at National Stadium and watched her break. Was it
5 minutes.
What's up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Romaine broke 5 minutes at that 1,005 race, and the moment she crossed, she gave a very big shout.
Yeah.
Coach was, that wasn't part of the plan.
Still the energy. Another 100 meters.
leave the best things for the last part.
Yeah, but you see, it took you many years to break 5,005, right? And then after that, you continued training hard, putting in the work. And I think 2024, you have, I would say, comfortably, 445.
The first time I went beyond sub 450 was, essentially, I ran 458 in 2019.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then I ran 444 in 2024.
Wow.
Wow.
And ran 1 second faster a few months later. So I ended 2024 with a 443 1,500 PB. My 800s, it went from 219 in 2023 to 214 in 2024.
Wow.
Do you
Yes.
think age has got something to do with that? No, I mean, because mentally you might be in a different space and you've, rather looking back on 2019 and now, people are always, well, you've peaked out, you're getting too old, but you're going faster. Yeah, so do you think age has something to do with that for you?
Age, consistency as I
Okay.
aged is
Yeah.
probably the answer you're looking for, plus a little bit of stubbornness, like, why are you
Yeah.
still doing
Good.
this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I just kind of want to do it.
And I'm kicking ass. Yeah.
And it makes me a nicer person at
Yes.
work. But yeah, it's somehow I stumbled into the 800 by accident in 2022, I believe. I think we all just came back from the COVID break. Everyone was just not fit, out of sorts, a little lost. And my coach just decided, everyone, let's do 800-meter training just to get everyone training together once again, rediscovering a group dynamic. And somehow I continued with that training because I was doing pretty well at it.
Okay.
And now we're aiming for bigger goals this year.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So Nat, about your 1,000 kilometer, can you break down for the audience like how many kilometer a day?
Yeah, so we were doing between sort of 86 and 90 a day. Ended up being 1,040 because we did extra on the last day. Just
Just an extra marathon.
Yeah, just an extra. I know. Yeah,
80 to 90 kilometers a day.
86 to 90 generally. Some days were,
That's someone's weekly mileage.
Yeah.
She's doing it a day. Back to back, right? There
back
was
to back. No, yeah.
no rest. I mean,
no,
like, yeah.
just like about 3 hours sleep because sometimes because we were doing the world record thing too, so where we stopped, we would have to start from obviously the next day, and
Yeah.
sometimes the hotel use the term loosely because we're in the middle of nowhere, was like an hour, 2 hours drive away. So we were spending hours in a van getting to and from the stop-start point.
right,
So
right.
then that impacted sleep. Obviously, I hurt my hip the first day. We got past that. And then I had a UTI from day 3, so I was peeing blood for 7 days. And then ended up with rhabdo at the end, which I didn't know was rhabdo.
What's rhabdo?
Rhabdomyosis, where your kidneys don't process
Oh, Lord.
things. So I had 5 kilos of fluid on my legs on that last day. If you look in the photos, my legs look...
you
Yeah,
just
I had big cankles. No, there was a lot of cankles.
no.
So, so it was... But, I wasn't in pain. It was fine. Yeah.
You weren't in pain.
No, it was
Why?
all right.
I mean, like,
yeah,
how is
I think
there
I
no
was
pain?
just like the brain cells had gone by that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
Ravi
when-
cannot
I cannot fathom
understand
this.
and fathom
I'm like, if my knee hurts, I'm like, hey, no, 1,000 kilometers. See you guys
They're
next year.
peeing 50 times a day. So at the end of the day, my watch versus Arthur's watch mine would be about 3 Ks more because of running into the bushes to pee the whole time. Yeah.
So weren't you mentally affected?
No, because I was just going to get it done. I think that was it. There was no...
But from the first day with the hip issue.
The hip, I was scared because I thought, like, I was embarrassed really because I'm like, oh my God, it's day 1 and I'm going to be out with an injury. This is ridiculous. Everyone's calm to help me. And luckily, Jenny at Hello Physio sort of was on the phone and we tried some things and I managed to get a massage and we managed it through. By day 3, it was fine. But then the rest, it was like just get it done. Yeah, and I didn't listen to any music, any podcast, anything for the whole 1,000. It was just head down in the moment the whole way. Yeah,
And what's your,
getting dumber.
what was your preparation to that 1,000?
So I didn't up my
800
mileage a
800
lot.
meters.
No, I
800
didn't.
kilometers.
Like 100 to 150, I stuck out a week. So I didn't. A lot of double run days, but I think it was not getting injured was the key going in, most definitely. And then this time around, I'll do similar. Yeah.
This time around, can you enlighten us what's happening this time
Ravi
around?
hasn't been informed yet.
2000.
I was informed like 2 hours ago.
Yeah,
So-
this time around. So April 21, I'm doing it again, but the Philippines. Yeah.
So how does it work? You're going to try
How does it work? You fly
run
there.
down the whole of
Yes, the whole of
Philippines?
Luzon. So right up in the top right-hand corner, around the coast, all the way down the west coast, and then into Manila. We're finishing.
Robin, you want to join?
No,
Yeah.
bro. I'll be there with the Jollibee.
Yeah, with the Jollibee. Yeah, so I think Jollibee's going to feed the kids and the schools that we're calling into along the way. So a lot more charity stuff this time, and a lot more community stuff along the way, which will be great.
But I'm assuming you still have to stick to that.
It's still
80,
six,
90.
yeah. So I think we'll mix it up a bit. Like I might do 100 one day and then bring it down to 65 the
Right.
next. So we'll play with the distances a little bit more potentially, but yeah, it'll still on average it'll still be 12 days and 1,000.
And now going into this width of already doing the 1,000 from Thailand, do you feel like you're more prepared, you're fitter, you're...
No, I feel like we had lessons, and that we'll be starting at like 1 a.m. every day as opposed to changing our times. So lessons learnt around things like that. But no, I feel the pressure way more now because
Really?
everyone's like, oh, well, you've done it, you can do it again. It's like I could twist an ankle on day one and it'll all be over. So I feel like this is going to be harder, to be honest. The first time we went in, we had no idea. We didn't even bring a massage gun with us. Like that's how amateur we were. So, you know, we can be better prepared, but I feel like there's a lot more pressure this time.
So you have to fall back onto your own words that you said at the start, right? Don't give a shit what other people
Yeah,
think.
exactly right. Yeah. And remember, it's for a bigger cause. We're
Yeah.
bringing, you know, light to some of the communities in the Philippines and telling different stories, and just trying to go out there and do my best.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you have plans after Philippines for another 1,000 somewhere?
No, I keep saying as I'm training, I'm going, this is the last one. Never again.
So basically, the first time when you are doing something great, something big, you always feel this like, oh, I can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
But once you feel the pain, now the second time round, on top of the pressure, do you have any fears?
No, not. I mean, it's a bit like childbirth. You forget about it really fast. You forget the pain. You really do. And I'm sure it'll come racing back pretty fast. No, just the fear of not finishing and letting people down, I think, is the big one. That's the
I think
the
even if
fear.
you do not finish, but you're helping some other schools along the way, that's more than...
Yeah.
That's the end goal there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would that count as another world record?
No, I'm not doing a world record this time, just because we thought we'd just take the pressure off the situation.
Right.
And it was a lot of faff, a lot of like 4 watches on the go of filming. We had to film a certain amount every day. We had to get statements. To the point where I ended up they were asking me to send pictures of the shoes I wore to make sure they didn't have wheels on them.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like
yes, like wheels. So I'm like, yeah, we do not need that
Yeah.
extra. Let's just go and run. Yeah. So there'll be no world record this
But
time.
if you were gunning for it, you have to run it quicker, I'm assuming.
Well,
right?
it would be a different record this time.
Okay.
So the record would be most 100Ks back to back. So it would have to be, I think I'd have to do at least 8 days of 100Ks in under 15 hours per day is what they have said. And there's no record that stands, but that's the record that they've come up with. And it's like, that's not of interest to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15 days
Yeah.
consecutive of 100 Ks. You look at me, man.
15 weeks of
I extrapolate that 1 day to 1 week.
Precisely.
But yeah, it appeared in Strava, which I always laugh at because it made the year in review on Strava, my run, because it just says morning run and it's 1,000 Ks in Strava. So that was the funniest thing at the end.
Hey, Nat, I want to switch gears a little bit and just ask about the gap between males and females in ultra running. You know, I mean, for you it's ultra running, and I'm probably going to pop the same question to Romaine. Do you feel that in our trail running world, the gap between the males and females are a lot more closer compared to a standard athletics meet.
Yeah, 100% much closer because, we're seeing females beat males. I mean, I've won outright in quite a few races.
Yeah.
So I think the longer you go, it just seems females, for whatever reason, and I know there's been a lot of studies around body makeup, but I think mentally we just kick ass at a certain point.
Stronger.
And I do think it is that a lot. And so, I think even age in ultra running isn't as big a deal as it is in maybe shorter course things, because where you're not going at pace. It's not about it's about speed, but not to the extreme it is in track and different things. So, I think I did my first. I had never done a marathon, and I went straight to 100 Ks. Just to challenge myself, and beat the guys and won that first race and went, oh, okay, this is sort of a cool thing to do. Maybe I'll do some more of these. Yeah. But I think, I think as females, we're seeing people like even Courtney Dorwater and things, who is a legend, just going out and beating guys. So I think mentally females seem to have a little bit of an edge when it comes to some of the distances. Yeah, so definitely the gap is much smaller.
So either Nat is ambitious or she's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, she's really good. She's just good. It's just like we were saying, it's just not giving up. Remembering why you're there and being and embracing the challenge. I think you're out there for a long time, so it's definitely ups and downs, but remembering why is definitely key. And I think especially with long races like that, it's sticking to your race plan too. You see people going off at 4-minute pace in a 100K ultra. I'm like, see you in about 10K when you blow up, And so I think it is just being confident in your abilities for those longer ones, because you're the 100K race. Really doesn't start. The race doesn't start till like 70 Ks. Really, to be fair, it's those last 30 that count.
Romaine, no, sorry. Go ahead.
How has your why for running 100 Ks evolved?
Oh, good question. Yeah, the first one was like, just see if I'm capable of doing it, and now it's quite addictive from a mental point of view, in that you go into flow because. And I'm running on the road, so I'm not doing trail, so I can not focus on where my feet are. So you are 100% present pretty much the whole time. And so I find that's quite addictive. And then just seeing how much you can actually push really is interesting. Like, how far mentally can I go? How far can my body go? And I think you get a better understanding of yourself at the end of it. And I'm not a person that needs to race. I've got Tokyo next weekend, but I've got no other races in the diary this year. So I don't feel like I need that satisfaction from racing. I just enjoy getting out there longer. Yeah.
So when you're in the moment, do you space out, or do you think about something, or just take in the scenery?
Taking the scenery and space out. I am not solving world peace. I am not getting smarter. I'm sort of just in no man's land, really. And then something might hurt and I'll think about that. But really, it is just spacing out. Yeah.
So what if like a 15 or 18-year-old girl comes up to you one day and says, I want to race 100 Ks like you one day. What is your number one tip or top 3 tips to help them? Yeah,
I think definitely build up slow. It's a long way. And I think, you've got to enjoy being out there a lot by yourself. But I would encourage anyone to do it. I think it's a self-discovery thing. I hate meditating. So this is my meditation. I don't like slowing down. I don't like yoga. So for me, this is my time to explore who I am. And I think as I get older, you learn more and more about yourself and what is possible. So I would encourage anyone to go and experience that. And it's pain. You're pushing past pain. You're pushing past preconceived barriers that you've set for yourself, just to see where you can actually physically go. And I don't think we get uncomfortable enough, right? Everyone in this room does because they push themselves, but a lot of people aren't willing to be uncomfortable in life. So I don't mind getting out there, getting a bit dirty. It doesn't matter, and see what happens. So I think it's that rawness that I really love. Yeah.
Keeps you going.
Yeah.
That's
So you're going to go now. Next. Still no.
Wow.
I respect it, but probably not for me.
So going back to the question that Mel asked, Romaine, track, gap
Yes.
with the guys,
Yes.
right? What do you feel?
Look at the record books. The female records have been there since the 19-somethings for most of them. Shanti has been rewriting the records on her side in the sprints. So the field eventers are stepping up, and we have Van for the distance.
Right.
But on the whole, from off the top of my head, the girls that I used to compete against in school, they're all gone. They are living their own lives now.
Right.
They have either don't have time or just not interested in the sport anymore.
Right.
To each their own. I decided I was not done, and that's why I'm still sticking around.
Okay.
As to why, I think the guys are more competitive just because maybe they have less societal expectations of them to, okay, you got to give this up now, you got to start a family, whatever. I think they have a little more leeway to explore their passions.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, it really depends, but I think to your point, which I would like to then differ, looking at the number of records that have been broken, right? I think last year there was more female records that were broken than male records, right? So which kind of shows us
Wait,
that...
this is the Singapore record.
Yeah, Singapore records. My bad. So not global records. I got no time to keep track of that. Okay, so Singapore records, there was more female records being broken than male records. What do you think about that?
I think now is ripe for females who are finally stepping up and who conform less to societal expectations, or maybe they just haven't reached that stage in their life where they are ready to settle down. They're just at a point in their life where they can and will focus to get better at the sport.
Right.
Yeah, I think this age is a bit more convenient and more open for them
Right.
to continue pursuing their passion at a higher level as compared to before.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is so amazing because what you said about finding yourself when you're doing those runs, even at an older age, and Romaine saying the younger ladies who are up and coming, picking up the sport, are also trying to find themselves, what works for them. It happens across the spectrum, no? Whether you're just starting the sport or whether you're towards a 1,000-kilometer run. And I think that is what is the message that we are trying to say here to all of our viewers. Perfect. Gentlemen, anything else? Or are you guys all
Yeah, good to close shop, man.
close?
Firoz thinking about the next 1,000
I'm
challenge.
thinking whether should I join in.
Forgo the MTT and just... I'll see you in Philippines, Firoz.
Philippines down. Then
I'm running the other way. I'm running the 1,000 the other way. So any last words, ladies, to our viewers who have been listening to you?
Yeah, I think for the girls out there, like, be brave. Don't be scared. If you have a dream, chase it.
Yeah.
And don't worry about what your friend's doing or what is expected. If, you get one life to live.
Yeah.
So you don't
Go
want to
live
look
it.
back and think I should have done that. Right. Yeah, no matter what your age.
Yeah.
You're never too old to go and do something either. So it might not be set a national record, but it might be run your first marathon or whatever it is.
And Romaine?
I will gladly be the oldest competitor on the start list.
Yeah, go girl. I love that.
So to the younger ladies, look out for Romaine. She'll be in your race sometime soon.
Kicking your butt.
Kicking your ass. So better buck up. Yeah. If not, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. This is us signing out.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.